Welcome back to another DPS analytic video. This is going to be the 6th week of the Scarlet Enclave for Season of Discovery. For this week, we're still going to be looking at the boss damage combined with the add damage. The polls have not passed to exclude that add damage, so keep that in mind as we look into the logs. If and when that poll does pass, I'll be sure to update you guys at the beginning of that video. Anyways, looking at all percentiles, we have the Balanced Druid and Sub Rogue, pretty much trading positions from last week. Following that, not too big of a drop off here in the median DPS. Only real drop-offs is down here next to the Melee Hunter, Feral Druid, In-Hand Shaman, and then the Frost Mage. And then obviously the big dramatic drop-off is here with the BM Hunter, Demo Lock, Combat Rogue, Arms Wear, and then the Arcane Mage. But keep in mind that this is the average of all of the classes. So a Fury Warrior coming into this raid with full Nax gear versus a Warrior with an Ashbringer, you have to average that out. So over here, this is the guy with the Ashbringer versus someone that is maybe fresh into Scarlet Enclave. But yeah, just something to keep in mind while looking at this metric. Moving on to the max percentile, Fury Warrior, Ret Pally, once again, two wielders of the Ashbringer. And I mean, I guess you could say the same thing for the Melee Hunter, but obviously not seeing the same results. Also probably not being prioritized to have the Ashbringer versus a class like the Ret Pally or the Fury Warrior. Looking at the 95th percentile, we have Ret Pally, Balanced Druid, and then the Fury Warrior. Following that, a very stagnant DPS right here. A little bit of a drop off by the Fire Mage and below. Let's go ahead and dig a little deeper and go into each boss fight specifically, right? Let's go to max percentile and Balanazar. I mean, just the Fury Warrior. Once again, just the top dog every single week. But yeah, the Ret Pally, Marksman Hunter, and Balanced Druid still holding up very well on this fight. Moving on to Beatrix, we have the Fury Warrior, Ret Pally, and then the Marksman Hunter. All very far ahead compared to the rest of the DPS. And then quickly looking at just boss damage, totally different perspective here. Fury Warrior moves down, but the Ret Pally is still very competitive in that top 5 spot. So really interesting to see that. Moving on to Solastraza, pretty consistent across the board. Not really this huge drop off other than maybe the Ret Pally and the Balanced Druid. Looking at boss damage with the adds combined, again, you're seeing the extra little add damage from the whelps on this fight. Fury Warrior, Ret Pally, and Affliction Lock. All 3 classes, of course, benefiting from that extra add damage. Moving on to Mason, Fury Warrior, Ret Pally, Marksman Hunter. Following that is the Affliction Lock and the Fire Mage. If we look at just the single target damage, Fire Mage, Shadow Priest, Ret Pally are now your top 3 DPS. Not really too many adds on this fight, but I can understand how it's going to be for your other guilds where you're going to need to kill those adds and players are going to just ignore them because it's messing up their parse. I know that that's going to be the other side of the conversation too. I'm very neutral on it. I think that the add damage should be just capped to where you're not excessively padding your damage, but you're still killing the adds in a reasonable time to where it's not affecting your kills. Going on to Beastmaster, a pure 2-target fight. Fury Warrior, Affliction Lock, Marksman Hunter, and then the Ret Pally. Again, this is a fight where there is no add damage, so logs are going to look exactly the same, I would imagine, going forward. I don't think that this gap will be closed. Maybe in the weeks to come, we'll see this get a little bit closer, but I really don't think so. Next, we have the Reborn Council, Affliction Lock, Ret Pally, and then the Shadow Priest and Fire Mage sitting pretty comfortably in those top 4 spots. A fight where your Fury Warrior is going to struggle a little bit since you cannot 2-target cleave the entire fight. Next up, we have Lillian Voss, a pure single target encounter, Ret Pally, Fire Mage. Following that is the Assassination Rogue, Melee Hunter, and then the Feral Druid. And then lastly, we have Calderon. Fury Warrior and Ret Pally, same positioning as last week. Following that, we have the Affliction Lock, Demo Lock, Marksman Hunter, and then the Fire Mage. If we look at just pure single target, totally different story. Ret Pally super far ahead when coming down to just pure single target by around 500 DPS. And just look how stacked up the DPS is here. Ideally, this is what you want to see in a perfect world, but not really going to be the case. Looking at single target on all bosses to wrap this video up. In the weeks to come, this is likely what you're going to see if the polls are to pass. So with that being said, that pretty much wraps up this week's video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. And as always, I will see you in the next one.